was training there and got injured while being at Royal. Then they shifted story to the source that he never appeared there, that no one saw him. Then that they saw him at the club, but that he never signed the contract. From the factual point of view, it wasn't so difficult, to prove.
Says Mphake. Finds the back of the net with a beauty. Well, after celebrating his 20th birthday, we can no longer refer to him as the teenage sensation.
And then commenting about the president, Dr. Motsepe, I would also like to see him going forward with this thing, because if we look at his work, it is saying a lot. He's doing well. So when I see CAF improving, teams are getting money, nations are getting money because the gentleman is working. So we say all the best to Dr. Motsepe.
I mean, they made a $72 million US dollar profit just from this year's Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, that particular sum is 18 times bigger than that was generated by the previous edition of the Africa Cup of Nations in 2022. And then what are you going to say to the guy? Cheers. We don't want you for another term. No.
Chiefs have reduced the deficit by half. And they have a chance to make it 2-2 off the post.
There's a sheer beauty.
Chiefs are turning it on.
Put the response when you look at it.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Marawa Sports Worldwide is proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
From the pitch to the podium,
Your all-access pass to the world of sport
is right here. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947.
Vuma FM,
And Rise FM.
powered by Hollywood Bets.
Oh, wow. What more can we say about the brilliant performance, though, from the Proteas that's seen them absolutely dominating Bangladesh to clinch a huge innings and also 273-run win in under 3 days in the second test at the Zahoor Ahmed Chowdhury Stadium in Chattogram yesterday. Now, the impressive result was the Proteas' biggest innings win ever in Test cricket. It also saw them securing a superb 2-0 clean sweep of the series, while it is also their third straight Test win now after they triumphed 1-0 in their 2-test in the West Indies a few months ago. Here's the captain, Aiden Markram.
Yeah, I don't necessarily enjoy stuff like that. So for me, it's more special being a part of a team that's just won for the first time in 10 years in the subcontinent. So as a player of the team, incredibly proud. Obviously incredibly happy as well with being able to get a series win here. And obviously knew it was never going to be easy, but very fortunate that we had some special performances along the way that got us into really strong positions, and we were able to apply pressure through that. So yeah, proud moment for all of us, absolutely, and one that we'll reflect back on in the years to come as a special tour. No, not at all. We were mentally prepared to go the long haul to late into day 5. As an opening batter, I know batting in times like that, it's really not easy. There's nothing to gain and can be quite tricky. So, along with the fact that we wanted to almost use the new ball twice, so for 10 overs to 15 overs the night before, and then still have a relatively new ball the next day. So, didn't think it would be sitting here now at the end of today that the game would be done, but. Yeah, some special bowling stuff and bowling partnerships that were extended for long periods of time and ultimately got us the wickets to be able to sit here now.
Right, so Manchester United fans, well, they reacted to the news of Reuben Amorim is said to be installed as a new manager of the club following the sacking of Erik ten Hag on Monday morning. Now, Sporting, they released a statement, though, to the Lisbon Stock Exchange on Tuesday, saying that it has told United that Amorim has a release clause worth 10 million euros, which is $10.8 million in the contract.
Won't be a bad appointment. Like I say, he's got 2 Portuguese titles under his belt. Read somewhere say a bit like a Jose Mourinho sort of character, so doesn't take no rubbish. So hopefully sorts a few egos out in the dressing room, and yeah, it'll be a good appointment.
No, because if his principles are right and the players buy into it, they'll go forward together. The problem we've had, the legacy problem we have, is players not being happy, and they've been is sitting there root of the problem. If he can weed them out, put in his philosophies, everybody buys into it, and then they'll go forward.
I think it's going to be probably the right decision for him, because it's been in the pipeline for a while that Ten Hag was going to go because of the way we were playing and all that. So I think for this one, I think he's going to probably do a good job to probably get United at the top of the league. That's where they all want to be. So I think we've made the right decision for him.
A change is probably as good as anything, really, and hopefully he can get the things going again, rile the players up, and I don't think he can do any worse, really. I know the manager gets a bit of flack for everything, but I think a new manager will be great.
I think it's a good appointment if we do get him. I think it was right for Ten Hag to go at the time because he was struggling with the results and performances, and I think he'll turn it around down the road.
You know, people don't really know a coach when it's almost like silence. You know, you say a name and they were all thinking, oh, maybe Xavi was going to be the next coach of Man United. Maybe it'll be Zinedine Zidane, and then there's all sorts of opinions. When there's a little bit of quiet, like it was with the Liverpool coach, then you know that people are hoping they've made the right decision. And obviously when you look at Liverpool's performance last night and you look at where they are on the table, then you get a sense that, okay, you know, maybe sometimes the so-called big names that get touted around are not always the big names that will make a difference. So maybe it's going to work out the same for the Man United fans. I don't know how they feel, but they can always drop us their impressions, their thoughts about what has happened. But, you know, there's always some form of drama, though, eh? I mean, the new football campaign, fresh off the heels. But believe you me, when I tell you that it's been non-stop drama, though, with some of the pretty weird calls that have been made by some of the referees. Now, each game somehow brings forth new conversations on kind of decisions that have been made by the men in the middle, be it the Betway Premiership or the Motsepe Foundation League. And one club that's been very, very vocal has been Cape Town Spurs. Now, their coach, Ernest Middendorp, we've seen him in a clip that went viral around the country, expressing his thoughts and his feelings about it. And he joins us live now from Cape Town. Coach Ernest Middendorp, who coaches Cape Town Spurs, joins us on the line. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you.
If you had to describe in a sentence, in a word, South African refereeing, especially in the first division, what would that word be?
Disastrous, no doubt about it. It has nothing to do that I experienced only from our games. If you go, for example, to a game like Uppington City against Tuks early in the season, and how they disallowed the goal for Tuks. They scored. There was nothing wrong with it. We have other accidents. Let me take it from their side to describe it. Scenario from the last weekend. Also, it's not only, and I think that people have to understand, it's not only about Gauteng Spurs. It's about the entire league, the entire competitiveness, the integrity, and I think actually we have to raise our concern as responsible coaches, as responsible administrators, to protect the players. Players get frustrated. Players work Monday starting for the next weekend, and then in this moment they experience, and sometimes you hear from players already, they said, I think I stop playing. And this is not right. This is definitely something where it has to be discussed, it has to be investigated, and that's what it is. Actually, in addition, and meanwhile, rumors, I heard it a number of times, the three top teams in the end of the season, they are already named. It is Uppington City, it's Milford, and it's Durban City. Then I heard it a number of times. Then I think, what's going on? What's happening here? What are we doing here? For what are we competing?
You're saying that already the names of the clubs that are going to be promoted or finish number one have already been named or mentioned?
a couple of times. Not only from insider, not only from stakeholders, football related. It is irritating. And if you see, we had a game against Uppington City, we had a game against Milford, and we had a game against Durban City. All three games are really, if you go into the game in details, you see law breaking, really scenario where you ask yourself, and again, it has nothing to do with a bad day in office or with poor officiating. We are dealing here with well educated referees. They are teachers, they are policemen, they are definitely know what they are doing. And I don't know what's happening really. I don't know who is a mastermind behind all this, what we experience in the moment, but it's definitely not a bad day in office.
I mean, what has been happening to Spurs directly? Because you've been adversely affected, especially with all the away games that you've been dished out for the season.
You go to Milford, for example, and I tell you, it's law breaking. It's, for example, when do you continue with a referee ball? There was a shot tried 20 meters out of the distance. Just to give you one example, I can give you a lot. Meanwhile, and the shot went terribly wrong, but he touched in a slight way the referee. The referee immediately blow around 18 meters in front of our goal, stopped it, and continued with the referee ball. This is wrong because the referee ball has only to come in place if the ball stays inside the field. And I must tell you, I think till today, I think they haven't found the ball. The ball was nowhere to see and was definitely not on the field. So this is not that a referee doesn't know. This is simple, easy, even asking the player, are you a right foot or a left foot, and placed it very properly, and the shot was dangerous. They could have scored with it. This is something in addition what we experience, and to break the flow all the time, kicking players, no stopping, and in this moment really a couple of other incidents. If you see it, offside calls, etc. We have all on footage. If somebody wants to see it, please feel free and come.
Well, we've seen the footage. We've seen the pulling of the shirt in the penalty box. We've seen offside. We've seen the harsh tackles. We've seen all of that stuff. But all I'm saying to you, Coach, is that since all of these pieces of footage have been put out to the public to see, have the authorities come back to Cape Town Spurs and say, okay, we are taking this corrective action. We have brought referee X in, or we have taken him off games or something like that. Has there been anything done since those videos were released?
Not one word, not one response, and that's irritating. I have written now today another article published on LinkedIn.com, but I sent it sometimes to the media. I have really expressed my concern nearly every match day to the fourth referee, to the match commissioner, and you cannot get any feedback. You cannot anybody who is responsible, who gives a feedback, a response at all. It's just going on, and it's just something like, oh, shut up, what do you want? But as I said, it's not only on our field. When we compete, you can see it around the clock, and I think that's very, very disturbing for the competitiveness. And I said it a number of times, if I would be Patrice Motsepe and my name is involved in this type of football, I would really jump in and ask something has to be done. The same is a Betway league. I think it's a very, very bad way, or the bad companies, if it is Hollywood Bets or whoever, they are involved, and they should have really an interest and jump in all the time. That definitely is competitiveness. It's not good for their reputation.
I mean, I know that you feel that the league should do a whole lot more, replaying games, with the cheating being deliberate. But if you're saying that with all the evidence that has been out there and nothing is done, is there even any hope here, Coach?
I'm an experienced guy in this department too. As I was writing today, I have been in China in 2008. I had a really fantastic contract with a high value. Started in August, and the contract was going for a year plus an option. And in November 2008, I stopped. I won a game 6-0. I had nothing to do with it. I lost the game 2 weeks later, 3-0. I had nothing to do with it, and I made it very clear. At that point, I terminated the contract with immediate effect, left China, and in 2009, everything was corrected. There was definitely an investigation successfully done, and the entire Chinese Football League, the Super League, was in this moment booming. Supporters, stakeholders came back, and at that time, I terminated, but I promised myself in this scenario, in these days, I will not do it the same way. I will fight for it, for the competitiveness. I will try to protect the players. I will try to really make it happen that we have a clean league in the end, and that's my target.
All right, after the break, Coach, I want to ask you a question, though. Once you've mentioned the fact that you've been in China, you had the experience that you had, and you resigned and you left the country. I want to find out from you, though, maybe keep this in mind, though, that do you think there is an active syndicate in operation in South Africa?
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Want to win a brand new Hyundai i10 to start off the new year? Of course you do. Hurry down to Build It today for quality deals to help you build it better and stand a chance to drive off in one of 10 Hyundai i10s. Plus, we're giving away 360 Build It vouchers valued at 1,000 each so you can shop extra. See in store for details. Competition ends 31 December. T's and C's apply. Only at Build It.
When Spoo accelerates, he hears Amapiano from his bonnet. Spoo could easily avoid all that noise with warranty cover from Budget. Whether it's the engine, gearbox, or electronics, Budget warranty cover protects him from costly repairs with unlimited part cover from just 200 Rand per month. Come on, good South Africans. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za today. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Premium is risk profile dependent and reviewed annually. T's and C's online.
The Freestyle Kings Live Show is coming to Johannesburg and Pretoria, featuring the best riders on the planet. Daredevil superstar Robbie Madison, X Games gold medalist Rob Annelberg, special guest from the USA, Ronnie Mack, insane freestyle motocross and BMX madness, fire breathers, music, and so much more. Do not miss out. Freestyle Kings are taking over the Wanderer Stadium on November 2nd and Loftus Stadium on November 3rd. Tickets available at showtime.co.za.
Get ready for the event of the season, the Calvin Klein Warehouse Sale. Shop timeless denims, essential t-shirts, iconic jackets, signature underwear, and more at irresistible prices. Head down to Gallagher Convention Center in Midrand from Thursday 31 October to Sunday 3 November to shop the biggest fashion treasure hunt. That's Thursday 31 October to Sunday 3 November at the Gallagher Convention Center. Calvin Klein, wear Calvins or nothing.
Shape your degree, your future, your career. The IIE MSA campus in the West Rand is the largest private higher education campus in South Africa. Are you considering a bachelor degree in arts, computer and information sciences, or public health? Then visit our campus today and explore a wide range of IIE bachelor degrees. Apply now for 2025 at iiemsa.co.za. IIE MSA is a leading brand of the Independent Institute of Education, a registered higher education provider.
Fly Emirates from Johannesburg to Dubai and beyond and start your holiday on board. Enjoy complimentary food and drink. Explore up to 6,500 channels of entertainment, including live sport. Stay connected with onboard Wi-Fi and keep boredom at bay with special meals and toys for kids. You get so much more in Emirates Economy. Book your next getaway at emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Previously 3 on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
SAFA CEO, that's Lydia Munyepao, who joins me. The kind of opposition that Dr. Motsepe is going to be facing, because we've heard on so many different occasions as well, since he announced on Friday that he has the intention as well for going for the second term, that some of the North African regions do not like the idea.
So they are not aware of any other person that submitted to Mr. Veron Sengo Omba that, they will be running for the CAF presidency. They're only aware of Dr. Motsepe so far. However, the nomination, date is next month, early November. So they will wait and see in terms of who else comes on board. But about 40 member associations now have sent letters of endorsement for Dr. Motsepe.
#MSW. #MSW.
Right, before we get to the second part of the show tonight, which has everything to do with Gauteng Sports Awards. It's an important conversation. If you are all about that and what role you're going to play in terms of the nominations and who the nominees are, we'll make that announcement live here on the show. Stick around for that. I am looking forward to it. It is Middendorp is live coming through from Cape Town and is chatting all things to do with how unhappy he and a number of other clubs are with regards to the Motsepe Foundation League and the nature of refereeing there, the quality or the lack thereof of the refereeing that is happening over there. And I did say to him, though, heading into the break, just to give it a bit of a thought. Maybe he doesn't need a thought. Maybe he knows it offhand. Coach, is there a running syndicate that is behind all of this?
I see symptoms similar to my experience in 2008, where syndicates were really very active in terms of match fixing, in terms of influencing the direction of the game. And of course, it was very obvious that in 2009, then finally referees, presidents of the Football Association, CEOs of their Super League and so on were arrested and banned for life in 2013 finally. In the moment, we all have to be honest, in 2004, I believe, we had here in South Africa similar situations where referees were also banned, where officials were in this moment really also obviously very clear indicated that something was going on in terms of the corruptive activities. Meaning in the moment, why should we say nothing like this ever can happen? We had our problems in Germany also too. 15, 20 years ago, a referee called Holzer was also doing some stuff around match fixing in terms of the reaction was very clear. People were arrested for 15 years, going to jail and so on. So in this moment, you tell me it is not possible that we have similar situation activities of syndicates here currently in South Africa. Please, it's a question. I have no evidence, that's for sure. I see only the symptoms. I see what's going on in these matches. And for me, personally, I have a very clear opinion about it.
And Rob and Coach Ernst, Coach, I really sympathize with you and admire your bravery in terms of speaking out, because we've seen dubious decisions and we've heard of allegations of referees influencing games to suit certain teams. But from Motsepe Foundation Championship, I think this is structurally inflicted in a sense that teams are fighting for one sport, and I think this could have been much better if there were more sports made available in terms of promotion, particularly as well in that league, knowing that it creates an environment where it becomes winning at all costs, irrespective of how you get to a Betway Premier League. And for me, it's something that I think needs to be looked at, but also the level of officiating in its entirety in this country is quite horrible, because I follow football from the junior levels, and every week you see dubious decisions from under 13s up until a Betway Premier League. And for me, it's something that we need to address in terms of professionalization of referees and allow these guys on a daily basis to go to centers where they will be empowered to do their work professionally. Thank you so much, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you so much. Coach, I'm going to ask for your reaction in terms of this. He talks about the structure being flawed. And one thing that I do agree with him about is the fact that there is one spot to fight for, which is the number one that gets automatic qualification and promotion to the Premiership. One thing I've always believed, Coach, and maybe I'm wrong, I've always believed that in a population and a country that we have here in South Africa and all the various provinces that we have in this country, with all the World Cup stadia that we do have that stand a chance of going into becoming white elephants, the one thing that can save us is if we had between 18 to 20 teams in the league. Then you relegate 3, you promote 3, and then you do away with some of these flimsy, playoffs that they get into from time to time, which at the end of the day, you're giving position number 15 another chance to stay in the Premiership.
You are definitely right. This is something discussed since decades meanwhile, and I actually not the only one who doesn't understand why there is not an extension of at least 18, if not 20 teams with such a country, with such a football-loving stakeholders. It's impossible to argue why should it not be possible to do exactly what you said, make it happen. 3 or 4 teams from the 20 go down, and 3 or 4 teams come up, and then you have another flow. In addition to the structure, of course, I think the referee in general has to receive a better education, more professionalism has to be involved, and it's really also shocking when I hear Victor Schlongwane in June sitting there and telling each and everybody has been approached from clubs, from a person to direct the game into the right direction. And if some referee, it doesn't matter who it is, Gomez or if it is Tom or if it is Bennis, he mentioned the names. If he's saying he never was approached, he's lying. And we have to understand what he was saying in May, June, July. There is no income for the referees, and they have to do something and to provide some income for this month. It is shocking. It is irritating that nobody reacted after this was said from an honorable referee like Victor Schlongwane. He sits on SABC, he discusses decision from referees in the moment, and he put something into the public where I think actually you have to react immediately. This is something, if I would be Gomez, I would go straight into the direction of Victor Schlongwane, open a court case. The reputation is here on stake from different referees. I think it has to be done. But I ask myself, why nothing happened even here?
Sure. I know that I go back to 2004. SA Football, they fought against match fixing. SA Football went as far as having 33 people, referees, there was club officials, there was match commissioners, there were SAFA officials that were arrested. And I thought maybe post that things would improve, but it looks like now things are worse. Should there be more done in terms of a commission of inquiry so that we get to the arrest of all of these people that are conflicted in all this?
It is time that really a person or some person are coming out, talking about the truth, talking about the reality, and provide the evidence we need. Really, in this moment, we want a fantastic national team. We want Bafana qualifying for the World Cup. We want fantastic national teams competing at the Olympic Games. We want under 17, under 15 teams. We want to give everybody, every talent a chance, according to TDS, according to Arsene Wenger's program and project. We want all this, but we only get this done really in a successful way if we have a clean, competitive league, if we have clean, competitive youth development structures, and of course, everything in alignment with good refereeing, with good, clear, structured setups.
Coach, We're going to be in touch with you. I know you're going to be in Joburg pretty soon. I've got the date when you'll be here. We'll invite you into studio. Let's expand this even further. I think the more we talk about it, the more things will be done. I appreciate your bravery, as a lot of people have said, but somebody has got to be the braver of all of us. Good luck, Coach. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Appreciated that, Coach. And as we say goodbye to the coach, I am going to say and read this out. And this is the disturbing thing. It's come through on the YouTube channel. You can go and view it. You can watch, because we are going to be going back live now with the visuals as well as the audio. But something that was posted by Thabo Padi, which still stands there right now. And if people aren't shocked or worried about what he says here, Thabo says, in the 4th division, referees call us coaches to offer us games for cash. I am not making this up. I'm saying to you, you can go right now onto the YouTube channel. You can see the post. He has written his name. Thabo he's not scared. He's coming on here as a brave individual. It's not about anonymous from Katlehong. No. This is Thabo Padi. And he says, in the 4th division, referees call us coaches to offer us games for cash. And you tell me that people aren't worried about the state of the game and where it's going. Allow this to carry on. We'll see what happens. We'll play some of your voice notes. A lot of people in agreement. Others talking about the VAR making absolutely no difference in this. But right now, I don't know. I just want to feel a little bit happy. I think I brought the right people to make us all happy right now. We're going to change gears somehow. And you know what Gauteng is? It is time to get those evening gowns and also the suits designed and sewn, because the red carpet for the Gauteng Sports Awards is ready to be rolled out. The 2023 season has been remarkable in terms of sporting achievements by South Africans, especially those that reside in Gauteng. And with the nomination process, though, for the Gauteng Sports Awards now closed, there is much excitement that's surrounding the announcement of the final list of contenders that are vying for top honors. Now, the competition is expected to be intense, as you know, usually is. And we get to know how the final list was decided. We are joined by the adjudicator and representatives, though, from the Lions Cricket Federation, which has been, dominating the awards this year. And we also have the chairperson of the Gauteng Sports Awards Adjudication Committee. Let me start off with the chair. And with the man that walked in and told me that he was very, very happy, Norman Mphake, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
No, thank you very much for the opportunity, and good afternoon to everybody that's listening and watching us.
Yeah, watching live.
Yeah,
you did tell me that you went, for a bit of a manicure and whatever that means, but yeah.
Emotional manicure.
Well, firstly, congratulations. We all love the Gauteng Sports Awards. I think you guys have set a benchmark, through a number of years. What are we expecting in this edition?
I mean, thank you. And I think we've been under pressure to make sure we elevate the status of the awards. And one of the reasons why it's important for us to do that is it's not by default. It's because we are aware that when they go to the nationals, a large portion of the athletes that are going to be recognized at the National Sports Awards are Gauteng-based. So we really can't be sending mediocre representatives to say this is the cream of the crop, and then we've just decided to throw names just to fill a room. So we've been intentional about the things that we're doing, and over the years we've even discussed that when we see the nominations that are submitted that are not deep enough, that are just shallow, we will then submit and investigate and find quality representatives to avoid having the situation where sometimes administrators of different federations may submit weak submissions.
Yes.
And we've requested over time to say, don't assume because you know that we know, because we have different experts from different sectors and we need to look at the evidence.
Yes.
We've tried to make the entry point low enough for people to be able to understand, but it doesn't mean make it shallow. And I've heard about the challenges of the technology of limited spaces that says 15 points and somebody says, should I give enough or little? But we've tried to say, give as much as you possibly can so that we understand what we're dealing with, so that we don't make any assumptions. Because they say compare apples with apples. But when you're saying sports team of the year, you've got a soccer team versus cricket versus rugby. And therefore, if we don't have enough evidence to prove and demonstrate that the ones that we've chosen are meeting the criteria, it then becomes a failed exercise. So we've been intentional. Because obviously people sometimes question, why would you have awards? You could have built a tennis court. We're saying that, there has to be a beginning and an end.
Yes.
And we need to celebrate the excellence that we have, because people don't do these things and don't sacrifice because it feels good.
Yeah.
They want to achieve things in life.
I suppose the counter argument to that is that, you've built tennis courts before, but then they became what they've become now. Nobody looks after them, whether it's from a municipality point of view or whatever. But, that's just a side issue. But I am glad you talk about having to sift through these nominations, bring out the best that there is in terms of the qualifications. I want to bring in Reuben Mandlazi, who's the Lions amateur cricket manager. This is a man who's got many profiles. So I was a bit skeptical of whether I would be able to find the right one, Mr. Mandlazi, to elevate you, given your history in cricket and what you've done and the accolades that you've achieved as an individual yourself. So now you come in as an adjudicator. You come in as a person who plays a bigger role to make sure that the final process, when we all watch and we're all there, is a fair process. What have you made of it so far, and what can we expect?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our listeners. Yeah, it was a tough process. I mean, we were discussing it sitting outside that, getting to that final product, you have to dig deep and ensure that the right people are presented forward based on performances. And we blessed at Lions Cricket that all nominees and the finalists that went through really deserve to be there. And I still have a bone to pick because I still felt we could have more. But we want to be greedy with that as well, because we believe that all the guys who are there are outstanding performers and have done some good work behind the scenes to ensure that they get to be rewarded.
Because I know the Lions Cricket have been nominated, in the then Federation of the Year, and there's so much more. What does that singularly mean for you, though?
It means a lot, and all credit I must give credit to our board, to our staff, to the coaching staff, and everybody at Lions Cricket. There's much work done on and off the field, behind the scenes, to elevate the experience. I mean, our CEO always speaks about driving excellence, and this means a lot for us, not just from being at Gauteng, but also from a sporting federation point of view. I mean, last year we won the Federation of the Year award, which was testament to the amount of work done behind the scenes. And on the field, I mean, the amount of support from our sponsors, who I'm not going to mention by names, all the support we get. I mean, I'm sure for them, they're all proud to see where we are as a federation. I mean, when I went to there for the final listing, I was a bit nervous because I know for a fact that, you're coming up against some quality opposition, and to be up there and at the top means a lot, and we're really, really proud of those efforts.
All right, before I take a break, though, I'm going to ask from a camera perspective, just to pan down, because you talk about sponsors, you don't want to mention them. I look at the tracksuit you're wearing, and I'm saying you are blessed. I see all these sponsors, and I'm saying you are blessed. So, we'll give people an opinion as well to check it out. but not only that, guys, we'll talk further about this, because having watched the CSA Awards, you guys scooped 13 awards?
Yes.
13. My goodness.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
You're not just smart. You're book smart and street smart. So, when it comes to life, you play it smart with the free titanium credit card you get with your Standard Bank Prestige account. You travel smart with free airport lounge access, plus up to 50% back in rewards points on flights booked through the UCount Travel Mall. And vlogging your life with 2 gigs of free data every month? Now that's smart value. Get it with Standard Bank Prestige Banking. Standard Bank's an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Silence speaks volumes. That's the sound of the Volvo EX30 going from 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds. True power isn't loud, nor is it boastful. The Volvo EX30 gives you up to 480 kilometers on one charge. It's a lot of power in a smallanyana SUV. Small enough to fit in, but big enough to stand out. Test drive the Volvo EX30, the #1 selling EV in Mzansi.
It's the Black Friday savings smash and prices are crumbling at Leroy Merlin with up to 70% off home improvement. Revamp with the Bosch Pro Impact Drill plus 15-piece bit set for 519, a Sterwin's hydraulic pool cleaner for 1299, and a Unitherm mid-wall fixed aircon for 4999. The Black Friday savings smash, in-store and online from 1 November to 1 December. Leroy Merlin, make your home the best place to live. T's and C's apply.
Hi, this is Tandy from the Bolt Safety Team. You can't see us, but we're right here with you on every Bolt ride. To your left is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. To your right is the emergency assist team, always on standby. Behind you is the share location team, letting your loved ones know where you are. We're the Bolt Safety Team, by your side on every ride.
When the stakes are high, there's only one place to go, the Hussa Grill. Whether it's that first date when you really want to make an impression, a gathering with family or friends that calls for exceptional service, or a special occasion that you want to make extra special. For a steak that is a cut above the rest, paired with service that's second to none, there's only one destination, the Hussa Grill, celebrating 60 years of excellence.
The wait is over. Your perfect summer starts now. Save up to 30% when you book your Sunbreak summer holiday with Southern Sun. Idyllic poolside relaxation, urban exploration, or quality family time. We have the perfect destination for you. Don't miss out. Sale ends 1st November, exclusive to frequent guest members. Not a member? We'll sign you up for free when you book. Your perfect summer awaits with Sunbreaks. Visit southernsun.com. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
As Samir's lawyer, Davo Lazic, joins us coming through live from Zagreb. So it's 10 million rand, to be very clear. Royal AM must pay Samir Nogovic 10 million rand, not a cent less.
Not a cent less. Plus now their interest for 2 years, since they terminated the contract without just cause, which happened, in September 2 years ago. And basically it's 5% annual interest. So you can count 10% on that amount more. Plus, each and every day, interests are higher.
Whether Royal AM now stand a chance of being kicked out of the Bedway Premiership?
Well, yes.
Don't act like you forgot. But I have my money.
#MSW. #MSW.
Yeah, it's all about the money. Maybe, Gauteng Sports Awards has got the money, the prize money. We'll find out in just a second. The nominees have been announced. When was the announcement made?
Today, this afternoon, from 1 o'clock, the MEC came through to make announcements about the finalists that we've got for the awards out of the 217 that had been submitted.
Obviously, some have been publicized, others do not know as we speak. Would you be able to share some of those, or where do people go to view the entire list?
I think there's a media statement that will come from the department about the entire list of those nominees, but it was made public because it was flashed out to show these are the categories, these are the names of the people that have been through. But I think the one that's been promoted and been spoken about is obviously the Sports Personality of the Year.
Because it gets voted.
It gets voted, yeah. And then obviously the MEC has not said who's getting the Lifetime award, which is at his discretion. We may be able to see, whisper, advise, but I think it's important to note that at this point in time, everything is out in the public, but it's now the public's responsibility to press 44888 and then say 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5.
So just to be clear, though, because sometimes these awards, they get confused for one reason, is that every category is adjudicated on.
Yes.
And only the Sports Star of the Year is the one where the public now gets to vote for that individual.
Yeah, this Personality of the Year is the one that gets voted for, yes.
But otherwise, every other category...
Every other category is adjudicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But sometimes, people talk about the popularity contest, you do this and that, but it's a public vote. So if you don't vote, then the popularity swings to the other person.
Correct. Hashtags are not the same as pressing the SMS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good old SMS.
Yeah.
Is that still in operation?
It's very operational.
For Gauteng Awards?
Yes.
So you're using the SMS?
Yeah. They
Give us
must
the number.
44888.
44888.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I know it sounds a bit scary. It's almost like you're phoning a 10111, which at times, doesn't exist.
Oh, what?
I mean, I talked about the success, though, when we put the spotlight on the Lions and the Federation and how well they've done. And I hinted on the 13 awards that you won at the CSA Awards as well. What makes the success story?
Yeah, so basically what makes a success story is all the people, all the structures that you put into place. I mean, that's where it all starts. I mean, if you look at the transition of the players from different sectors of our Lions cricket, you look at development programs that we put into place, then these guys have to be given the tools and resources to get to a certain stage where high performance takes over. I mean, the coaching staff, you have to make sure that it's credible coaching staff, guys well equipped to ensure that they can keep growing the players. Because if you look at Lions cricket dynamics, we have many Proteas that are always going to do a job for Proteas, but you have to make sure that we still keep winning. And the T20 competition was testament to that. I mean, when people looked at Lions, they thought they will struggle this year because of the South African tours. And we knew for a fact that we needed to have a plan B. And the plan B was making sure that our development structures thrive and we have the right backup and the players that are battle ready to ensure that we do well. And the proof of the pudding was in the eating at the Wanderers on Sunday when we won the competition.
Oh, well.
Norman doesn't seem to be happy about that.
There's pudding here.
I mean, you talk about development. I mean, let's hop on that for 2 seconds because I was actually looking at the stats of this boy and I was like thinking to myself, my goodness, how quickly has he come under the spotlight, maintained his head, maintained his dignity, maturity. I can add on so many different words. Yeah. Despite the criticism that was leveled at him at some point, but then you find a development and having been groomed player like Norman Mphake, named the player of the tournament at the ICC Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup in 2024. And then I looked at the stats, coincidentally, today. T20 challenge. I mean, 166 runs, taken 13 wickets with an average of 12.76. And this is crazy.
100%.
So this is what you get out of what you've plowed in.
No, 100%, and that's exactly that. That when you invest enough and ensure that all structures are in place, there's the reward that you get. I mean, the amount of work that has been done on and off the field, the mentorship, the guidance. I mean, the coaching staff have done an incredible job in him, making sure that he stays fit. And when he gets on the field, there's a lot of maturity around him. I always look at Gwen and say to him, he's an adult in a boy's body. And how he performs on the field is what South Africa is capable of doing if we keep those structures in place and we keep supporting the players in the right way. And we make sure that all processes have been followed. I mean, just outside, we're talking about the sport science and interventions and what needs to be done at that level. Because at the end of the day, we also have to make sure that we look after him so that he can have a prolonged career. We don't want a situation where he comes in and goes out very quickly. So there's a lot of work done behind that young man, and the only good things are still to come from Norman Mphake.
And he's got such a great role model and somebody that we touted just a day or 48 hours ago as being the number one bowler in the world, guys. So he's been breaking records within 1 week.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't stop, and that's Kagiso Rabada right now, and we look forward to so much more to come out of him. Quickly, Norman, from your side though, because one of the things I was talking about red carpets and suits and all sorts of things is that we love spectacles. We all sat and we watched the Ballon d'Or Award just the other day, and we know red carpet interviews, all of that stuff. Are you going into that space? Is it going to be live? Where is it going to be staged?
So I think today it was finally announced that it's going to take place at UJ, at the auditorium where they do the award ceremonies on the 24th of November.
Yeah.
I'm losing my year already. So the 24th of November. Yeah. So we're going to be doing the awards there. And the idea is to try find a space that accommodated all these people and to try and make it as lively and as entertaining as possibly can, but also to capture the essence of what we're doing.
Are we live on television?
It should be. I think the agreement has been that they're going to have live broadcast of the awards.
free-to-air TV, or are we having to pay?
Free. It's a government program, so it has to be free.
It will be on SABC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say that.
Of course you are. These days they share.
Okay.
Springboks are not on this. Okay, Minister. Okay, let's share. Cricket is not on. Okay, Minister. Let's share. So they share. Say SABC, ETV, Super Sport, anything.
No, it's on SABC. Yes, SABC Sport has actually been part of the awards for many years.
Yeah.
And so that continuation and agreements have been in place to ensure that everybody gets to see it and everybody gets to celebrate. That's the whole point, is that we're celebrating excellence, and we can't celebrate on our own. We can't be talking in a can and saying, "Oh, we're the greatest," and nobody sees it and can dispute it.
All right. I'm looking at the list. Am I able to mention one
No,
or two?
you mentioned it. I'm
Okay.
looking at the list equally.
Okay, Sportsman of the Year, though. So, guys, you got a very interesting list here. You got Ubayanda Walaza. We all know. Teenage sensation, matriculant, effervescent, gold medal winner, silver medal, you name it. It's all happened for him. And he's at his matric dance. We got Peter Kutsia. We got Sivanati Nonjinga. And I don't even know what people will be going for here. It's even worse with the Sportswoman of the Year.
Yeah.
Tatjana Smith. Zeni Geldenhuys. Kamugelo Maseko. Most promising sport team of the year. Klapman High, under 15. Spring Homes, Sweepers Academy. Spartans Karate, Gauteng Junior. I'm glad that karate is being given the recognition that they deserve. Good to see disability also coming through. Simone Kruger being there. Kutato Mochane also being there. Tanya Stolz being there. Okay. Remember, all to say, guys, we got a Wimbledon winner in the country. Let's not forget. We have, there's also disability for women. Anna Graaf, Colin Venter, Colin Mahlalela. We got the sports team with a disability as well. Coach of the Year, hey, Rocco Mayring, Tabo, Matebedi, Russell Domingo. So who'll be the Coach of the Year? Technical Official of the Year is also being included. Administrator of the Year, Sami Kekane, Unil Siwe, Mutswakai, Isaac Beatler. Wow. Also most promising athletes. Which one excites you the most here, Reuben? Because I'm going to go on the whole day with these different categories here. But I'm seeing so many different categories, others very creative as well, that have come through. What for you stands out?
For me, it would be Federation of the Year, and for one reason that when you run a good show, all of this other stuff will come down, will filter down from there. Your Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, Administrator comes from a well-run ship. I mean, always talk about the Lions beating your best. So it's a motto that we live with, whether you're a staff member on the field, whether you're a coach, you always want to beat your best. So that Federation of the Year, for me, is dear to my heart because it reflects the amount of work that is done on and off the field.
Community Sports Media of the Year. I love this because the likes of Josie FM, they do so much within the community that they're in. And they're nominated. Well done. Caxton Community Newspapers as well. Garangua FM also being there. Norman, you talked about the big one where the people have to be voting here. That's the Sports Personality of the Year. I might as well put it out because you got an SMS for your favorite. It is Ronwen Williams, Akani Simbin, Ri Lebogile Mofokeng, Tatjana Smith, Drickus du Plessis. Let's end the show.
Yeah. Yes.
That hectic.
Yes. It was important for us to do that. It was important for us to say this is the quality of sports. It's been a beautiful year. It's been an intense year of performance. And I can't say certain things because then I'd be hinting where my view is. And every time you've mentioned something about the categories, I have to look away because I haven't studied law, so I don't know how to look indifferent on certain issues because I'm aware who's winning
watching
in what category and whatnot. So I have to keep a straight face, and I've never played poker. So it's actually quite an interesting experience to now finally have to sit by your decisions and understand that you are changing people's lives.
Yeah.
We're impacting people's lives. And the fact that the MEC announced just because you've been nominated and you're on this final list, you're already getting prize money. That for me says you are being recognized not just by words, but by intent and by actions. And that elevates these awards to another level because
so
it means
all these nominees will get prize money.
Oh yes, unless the bank account number is wrong, but that's as simple as it is.
How much?
15,000
each.
Yes.
Just for being nominated.
Yes.
And the winners?
25,000, and the sponsors might add some more. And of course, one of these will walk away with a car.
The personality?
Yeah.
The car to keep or the car to drive and bring back?
No, there's no bringing back. We're in Gauteng.
And who's sponsoring that car?
I'm not certain. I wouldn't risk answering that because then...
But there is a car?
There is a car, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. I was going to say to you, and both you guys, one of these days, you're going to come back and shed some light. We will build up, obviously, to the awards. It's coming towards the end of the year. People are starting to, loosen up in the offices and so on.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it take, though, to get into cricket structures, either as a player or a coach? Because you've had that struggle. Yes. What does it take, briefly?
Yeah, a lot has changed. We have structures that are run in a township in the form of hubs and clubs. I think clubs have become, they've provided the new platform for players to grow. Yeah. I mean, school cricket is not enough anymore if you don't make your provincial team. So guys now at least can go back to club cricket where we still recognize players' performances from there. There's a lot of good things that we're doing at Lions, and I'm embarrassed about that. But, we pick a club's 11 that plays against a Carlton Academy side where a Russell Domingo can still look at them and say, this is the kind of prospect I'm looking for. So there's been a lot of good things that have happened over a period of time. And we keep improving those structures to ensure that we enable a lot of youngsters who want to be in a game to stay in the game as long as they can.
I'm looking at the Federation of the Year. I see Athletics Gauteng North. I see Lions Cricket, Gauteng Lions. I see Gauteng Football Association. Who wins?
Lions for sure.
Okay. Okay. I was just asking very innocently. I don't know. Norman.
I'm brave to say that.
I wasn't there.
I can only go. Otherwise, I don't have a job tomorrow. I'm sure Lions.
Yeah.
I don't want to put pressure on the panelists and the judges.
No. I heard nothing. I saw nothing.
He's just the chairman. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yes.
He's the chairperson here. All I need, because we're out of time, I just need you to repeat for me that SMS number, because everybody, after I mentioned the nominees, have been going on social media saying, please repeat the number, because they're already excited about voting for the personality. What is that number again?
It's 44888.
44888.
Yeah, in capital numbers.
No hashtags, no nothing.
No hashtags.
Oh, what's your SMS? Guys, thank you so much. I hope to host you again pretty soon. I think this is an exciting time, though, as we build up towards the Gauteng Awards. Norman Mphake, thank you so much indeed. The chairperson of the Gauteng Sport Awards Adjudication Committee, and also the Lions Cricket Amateur Manager, and so much more. Reuben Mandlazi, my guest today. That number again?
44888.
Good deal.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. #MSW, the same time. #MSW.
All right, catch us.